You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, singles talk radio channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.
Hi there.
And welcome again to another edition of Boy and Girl Thing. I'm Kit Smith, and I'm the author of the book, Let's Meet Our Match, Your Complete Guide to Success in the World of Internet Dating. And on my left, my co-pilot, as usual.
I'm Cece Schatz.
And she is?
I am the doyenne.
Very good.
The doyenne of
she's getting it. Okay.
Divorce, relationship building, and dating. I'm also the host of Going Solo with Cece, and we're going to combine our shows together tonight so that we can stay on a little bit longer. And our topic tonight is going to be the 5 ways to jumpstart your dating life.
Dating life.
And maybe yours.
We'll see about that. I don't know.
Let's shake it up. Let's shake it up, I say. So we have 5 ways to jumpstart our dating lives. So what would you think is the number one thing that you should do?
Well, probably ask yourself the question, maybe you're driving in your car.
Uh-oh.
Or no, you have a quiet moment and take stock, if you will. And because this process can be a bit frustrating, as we all know. But just narrow it down to, what am I looking for?
Yeah.
What exactly am I looking for? And do you really know?
Mm-hmm. I always say tall, dark, and handsome.
Well, and again, now it's funny you say.
Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh, I opened the door for the let's say it.
Well, it's in this case, on this show, it's probably something that's going to be brought up more than once. And that is
attraction. Chemistry.
Physical attributes.
Yeah.
And in reality, again, I'm someone that approaches things with, or try to, okay? And it's not always fun. It's not always romantic. But I try to approach things with a common sense or logical point of view.
You're analytical. See, our personalities are so different from each other. Although I have a very serious side to me.
And that's probably why you don't like me.
Oh, I like you. I like you a whole bunch. But the thing is, because of the attraction mechanism that you're always talking about, I do think that that's where the emotional side plays in.
Of course, okay? But I have stated any number of times, while we're doing these shows, I've written about it in my book, I've posted it up on blogs that I've written. As human beings, okay, we'd like to think that we're way above the animal kingdom, but yet we share like 90 to 95% of our DNA with the animals, and they function solely on physical aspects.
Right.
Okay.
But I think this particular thing, and I know what you're getting at, but I think you have to know what you're looking for, and I think it has to be a lot of different elements play into that than just the looks, because let's face it, we don't look like we did when we were in our 20s.
Sweetie, I'm not. What I'm saying is, as we have learned through our years, and you and I are.
Don't be insulting. Whatever you say, stop right there. Whatever you're going to say, back her up.
No. We're not kids anymore.
Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah, well, once in a while we might do kid-like things. Our shows that you and I do are primarily focused on getting the best experience you can from online or internet dating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we try to focus
so
on
that's
we try to home in on that. But we know that with going with online dating, you also, look, she says she's not really siding with, I think, me. So the thing is, we are homing in. We try to home in on online dating because we think that that's a very important aspect to dating now. However, it's not only what you do while you're on the site, it's what you do in the middle of the dating arena that you're in. And so that's why we talk about a lot of subjects that takes you getting to that point of starting to date. And then also, as you're dating, how can we help you to be able to stay in with it? But let's stay on topic, because I don't want to make the whole show about chemistry.
No.
If you want to do a show about chemistry, we can make a whole show about chemistry.
That's going to happen.
And I know, and we need to get it done so we don't have to keep doing this every time, because you drive me crazy. But so what am I looking for? And a lot of it is similar
in the room.
Okay, let's see what this article says. It says make an actual list on paper. Many people choose dates based on how the person looks, which is what you're talking about, and whether he or she shares the same interests, which is what I'm talking about. Though it's true that chemistry is important, there is much more that needs to be considered.
Of course, and
let's finish. Ultimately, you're looking to see if the other person has the same values that you can't live without. And I think that is so very valuable.
No question.
You got to know what you're looking for.
Absolutely.
And so I think that's really a cool thing. Let's talk about the second one, which is, what am I willing to do to get what I want? And I thought that was very interesting. So what are you willing to do to make this happen?
Well, there's a real good possibility that if you have narrowed down your parameters, in other words, what you're willing to accept and what you're not interested in, that's essentially what this question is about.
Is it? Let's see what they say. Because we pull up articles and we talk about them. So if you've got an interesting blog that's about dating, we'll focus it on our show and we'll bring you on so you can talk about it. But this one says, what are you willing to do to get what you want? And it says you can say you want something, but how committed are you really to do that? What action are you willing to take to make it happen? Have you worked hard to have a career in today's world? Realize that it might take that same kind of commitment to alter your current habits. To alter your current habits of socializing if you want to meet new people. So I think that's important. Like what you were saying, is to alter your current habits of socializing. So often we think, as we're beginning to date, that everything has to be the same as what it was before, and it's not going to be, because guess what? You don't want what you have. You want something better. You want something more. You want something different. So why do you think that you're going to keep going through life living it exactly how you're living it? If you want to open the door to have someone walk into your life, you have to open that door. You got to be committed to opening that door. You got to walk to that door to open it.
Maybe a word that we can use here is flexible. Become a little more flexible. It's okay. It's okay after you come out of a relationship.
Well, we're talking about making a commitment to dating. Okay. I think honestly, if you want to meet someone and you want to date, you can't be flexible in it. You can't say nilly-willy, I'm gonna make it. What we're talking about is making a commitment to change your dating, to change your dating habits and change your dating life so that, you can bring someone good into your life. Now, when you talk about flexible, I would think that you're talking about flexibility. Well, when you meet someone, then I think you have to be flexible. You have to have a little bit of give and take in there, and you have to slow it down a little bit.
Let me give you an example, of maybe what I'm trying to say here.
Okay.
All right.
And do not talk about it. You already talked. That's it. You already had your 3 minutes.
That's never going to go away.
Of the C word.
I met someone many years ago through an internet dating website.
Oh, now we're going to hear all the good stuff. Ooh.
Yeah. And
tell us.
We seem to like each other very much. We had a couple of we had a couple of dates, and we seemed comfortable around each other, and things looked to be going fairly well. I liked her. She seemed to like me. And so one night she calls me and said, look, why don't you come on down and I'll cook us dinner?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, oh, okay, that sounds great. What are you making? And I don't even remember what she said she was going to make. But I said, well, that sounds terrific, but I just hope you don't put onions in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Onions. All right? I'm someone that, and any ladies out there that might be interested in me, I don't even want onions to see my food. But
so where are we flexible
on
that?
No, I said that's a small thing when you think about it. But when I said that to her, you would think that I was trying to convince her that a better way of government is communism. She exploded on the phone. How can you cook anything without onions? You can't make food without onions. Onions. I mean, she was going on. And she was vehement, adamant, and just almost having a temper tantrum over this. Mm-hmm. Well, my point is that it seems to me to be like such a small. I said, "What do you do? Put onions in your oatmeal?
Okay.
Do you put onions on your birthday cake? I mean, you can't cook without onions." I said, "That's just one of my little quirks."
Yeah.
But she made it sound like it was a complete.
So you know what you want, and you want no food with onions in it.
Well, I'm just saying.
So you're gonna when you meet someone, you're gonna say, "Hey, woman, good looking. The chemistry is really cooking here." However,
be cooking with onions?
Do you cook with onions? Because that is a no for me. Second one was, what am I willing to do? So it's really commitment, being committed,
Okay.
I don't know why we're going on about the onion thing.
No.
I guess this is a boy and girl thing. We have to be analytical about what we're cooking.
I'm using it as an example.
You know what? I hate to tell you, sweetheart, when you came over here for the hurricane and we had dinner and all that stuff that we made and everything, there was onions in there.
And I haven't felt good since. Okay. I've had
you
indigestion.
That right down, and you were all happy camper. The wind might have been swirling around outside, but you were okay.
Yeah.
We drank enough wine to settle your tummy.
The point I'm trying to make about that, okay, is to me that's a relatively minor issue.
Yeah.
But the person on the other end turned it into a major issue.
Right.
Okay. Now, so you have that direct difficulty, direct problem. Mm-hmm. But what does it say about their personality or the type of person they are?
That's a whole nother show.
Right. Well, I'm saying.
It is because we don't have that.
What I'm saying is that it, in my mind, in my estimation, it's like if you're going to blow up over something as simple as this. Suppose we have something serious that we have to deal with or discuss or talk about or whatever. My God, I mean.
Well, the thing is, you found out right out of the gate that you're not compatible, and that's the thing is you're not. It's not about the onion.
Right.
It's about
exactly.
It's about what you want and what you're willing to do. And the thing is that she wasn't willing to meet you halfway in that. She wasn't even willing to say, "Hey, well, I don't even know if I like you enough to leave my onions out."
She didn't even hesitate long enough. Okay, is my point. She didn't even hesitate long enough to say, "Oh, okay, well, wait a minute.
Maybe she thought you were being a little demanding at first.
Oh, okay.
That you were making such a big thing over onions.
I didn't think I was making a big thing. All I was saying is.
So, okay, let's go on to the next one because we used up a lot of our great, valuable time. I think we're on the third one now. What is the most important thing I can do to create results? And we're talking about dating. We're not talking about trying to build a relationship.
We haven't gotten to that point.
No, we're talking about actual dating. And this is what they say. Are you willing to step out of the familiar to be ineffective behaviors and trying something new? Are you ready to take some risks, like asking people to fix you up, to meet with them, maybe sharing with your family and friends that you're looking out now to start dating, getting on some dating sites, doing something different, really kind of shaking up your world and stepping out of the box. And so are you willing to do something different to create a different outcome?
That looks an awful lot like becoming more flexible.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
You need to take a chill pill, sweetheart.
Right, I mean.
Okay, so point made. Let's move on with that. Holy smoke. Gosh, that's why it's a guy and girl thing. And this girl's getting mad at this guy.
Really? Are you really?
No, I'm not. I'm really not. But and I think it is true that you have to, like you said, you do have to be flexible, but are you willing to do something different? And I think that's the thing. And that's what I love so much about dating sites, is because they are all different, and there is something new and exciting about it. And I think people our ages are really starting to do a little bit more with the various different kind of dating sites. So just so that you know, it's great connecting with you guys again, and I love it. So we've got Susan with us, we've got George, we've got Dave, and I think we've got a few others too, which is really awesome. So
and with the guys that are tuning into this, guys, help me here, okay? Because the women are ganging up on me.
Yeah. I've got a secret one I'm going to add. That's why I want to try to make sure we get to these, because I've got one that I feel is very important that it's not necessarily on this list, and I thought it would be good. So how can I use a recent experience to avoid mistakes in the future? And I think that when you were talking about the onion lady, I think you learned a great deal from that conversation you had with her. Not only what you didn't like about it, but also things that you did, like trying to learn up front a little bit about someone so that you can weed out whether, are they really the right person for me? Are they compatible to me? And so you found out right away from the onion lady, she's not compatible.
No reaction to it.
Yeah. And that you don't want someone in your life. Yeah. You want someone that's
I'm not dealing with this.
Put the onions in without telling you.
Go ahead, put your onions in, feed somebody else.
But you know what? Honestly, okay, with the onion thing, I will share with you that you can use onions. Just a trick out there for you guys that got onions. If they do give you that indigestion and stuff, you can get like a liquid onion. And you can use that because it gives you the flavor, but it doesn't give you the indigestion.
Onion salt.
But then you can't use salt.
Onion flakes.
There you go. You're okay with flakes? Yeah. Okay. He's okay with flakes. Lady, come back, lady, into his life. He's okay with flakes.
It's just raw onions.
Yeah. I totally get that. I understand.
And again, somebody else. Somebody else might have said to me, "Oh, okay, Kit. You don't like onions in your food. That's fine. I'll do this or I'll do that, or there's an alternative."
Yeah.
The blowing up, okay, and losing their temper.
Well, there's the thing is that she's going to have struggle, not necessarily with you, but with everyone. That she's.
Is this how you resolve your differences? You throw a temper tantrum and, you get your way because you've thrown a temper tantrum. Been there, done that. Thank you. Enough. Eat your onions raw for all I care. I've had enough. All
right, well, let's go on to the next one. Let's see now. We talked about that. Oh, I think I messed up there. Okay, so we talked about avoiding the mistakes. We probably can read that because we didn't go into depth of what this particular article said. It said, most of us are doomed to repeat the same errors over and over again because there's patterns. I've talked about patterns on different shows, patterns in your life, patterns that we do. Unless you stop and really look at the patterns of our behavior. And, this woman, we can use her as an example. she got frustrated. She was very frustrated with you, and she kind of took her frustration out on you. Like, oh my gosh, here he is. He's already putting demands on me and wants me to change my cooking habits and things like that. And so she got very, very upset over it. But the thing is that if she's not willing to change a little bit about herself,
adapt.
Yes, she's going to adapt. She's going to have some difficulty in. And you know what? And this article, I really like this article because I think it was really true to heart, because it says this is uncomfortable. It is uncomfortable to look at our patterns in our lives and say, you know what? Things aren't working out the way they've been. And so I need to shake it up. I need to do something with it. Janet Tatum, my really good friend, she always says, if something isn't happening in your world the way you want it to happen, you need to step out of the box and shake it up a bit. Do something totally different. And I love her for that, because she's changed my life with that.
Just some simple self-examination.
Yeah.
Okay? Just step back on your own. Quiet time, feet up on the hassock where you're relaxing, and do a little self-examination.
Right.
Okay.
That's exactly what they said. Look at your failed dating experience. Ask yourself what it takes then and how you acted it out, how to use the experience and gain knowledge really from the breakup.
Are you someone that is
me?
Not well.
Are you asking me questions?
You in general. Okay.
So you get scared.
If you're someone that's constantly blaming, or laying the blame at the rest of the world for your problems or your difficulties or your lack of success, well, wait a minute. Maybe it's the way I'm looking at things that aren't working.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's the way I see things that are not going to work. Maybe I have to adapt. Maybe I have to become a little more flexible, a little more open-minded.
Here's the thing, kid. As you're talking about that, what comes to mind is the fact that we do have to do that. And dating sets the, I would think, the parameter for us, or the beginning stages for us, because as we begin to start dating and we start seeing maybe problems that come up, not necessarily in the other person, but really our own, our own problems that we're having, it makes us stop to start evaluating ourselves.
Yes.
See, do we need to change a little bit? Are we kind of
that's what you need to do first.
Or are we?
That's what you need to do first.
Yeah, but you don't know. Sometimes you don't know until you hit your head up against the wall a few times and try to figure that out. Yeah. Sometimes you really don't know, and that's kind of sad. And you burn out, some probably really good people along the way until you get to where you start to understand that you need to do that.
Right.
Let's go on to the next one. And it says, how can I face the prospect of dating with a positive attitude? And my gosh, if you can't face it with a positive attitude, you are in the toilet from the very beginning.
And don't start. If you don't have a positive attitude to begin with, don't start.
Yeah. Well,
don't start until you have a positive attitude.
Right. So how do you get a positive attitude? And this is one thing that they did say here, is that if we take responsibility for the challenges in our lives and we don't blame others, as you said, for them, we can spend our energy looking for solutions. And isn't that a wonderful thing? Looking for a solution to a problem versus making a mountain out of a molehill. With this attitude, we can take responsibility for finding the kinds of dates we really want. You can do this because you understand how to really take actions, and outcome can work for you. So I kind of lost it a little bit at the end there. But I really do believe what they're saying, because I think life is all about an attitude. It's a choice of whether we want to have fun with the experience, whether we want to love again, whether we want to open our heart again. Our lives are all about choices that we take. Dave said, onions are probably okay, but they're great when loving hands put them in the pan. I'm going to put that up. Woo-hoo! Thanks. That's a good one.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. If you fake it, forget it. Yeah, Susan, you're absolutely right with that. I want to talk about this one. I want to throw in here because I was thinking about this today as we're talking about our subject tonight. And I was thinking that I think that we all have a knowing within us. We have a knowing on whether is it really the right time for us to be able to date? So often we step out doing things because we think that that's what we're supposed to do. This is, the action of life. And so therefore dating is part of it. But I do feel that if we take a step back and we start to really get in touch with our inner self, we'll understand that we have our own knowing within us on whether the timing is good for us to date. I know you and I have had this conversation, Kit, about dating, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on in both of our worlds, both of our lives, and there's just times when sometimes it's better to step back and say, you know what, I'm going to focus in this area of my life versus thinking I'm going to bring somebody into my world. Because when you bring someone into your world, you have to be at a good place.
That world has to be in pretty good shape.
Right. It can't be swirling around like my blender in my head all the time. It's got to be, you've got to have some sort of level ground. You've got to have, and I think you have a knowing, an absolute knowing about it.
And again, we're discussing this from a point of view or perspective of our ages. Okay,
Wait a minute. The way you're talking about ages.
No.
You get into the subject about ages. What are we talking about ages?
Because you and I have had the experience of being in failed relationships.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
We've had to go through the recovery.
Yeah.
We've had to go through, do I even want to do this again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And when if on those days where you're like, I'm done. I've had enough. I don't want to do this anymore. Okay, that's going against the very biology or the very nature of being a human being. We crave companionship. We crave partners.
Right, but we can get that in different ways in our lives.
Right.
And I think in today's world, relationships are changing. There's a shift that's happening, especially as we become older. You're seeing it more and more. I mean, just someone in my family is just now going through
when I
divorce.
was in my early 20s, all I cared about was being attracted. Period.
That's what you still talk about.
Okay.
You still talk about that.
Here I am all these years later.
Still talking about it.
And I came to realize that that's not the be all end all.
Yeah.
Okay. The starting point might be an attraction, a physical attraction, but to make and have a wonderful quality relationship that I've always hoped for and dreamed for, there's a whole lot more behind it. A whole lot more. And
it takes work, it takes effort, it takes commitment,
and then
it takes
finding someone my age, okay,
which is like
they're
really old.
they're gonna bring their history into this. So not only am I asking for someone to cope or deal with or understand my history, I have to do the same thing for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what a relationship is. But the thing is, you're building, when we're dating, we're starting to build a relationship together. And that's one of the things we can talk about maybe at a later show, is I think sometimes we move too swiftly, into we don't prolong the dating period and the wooing. Because a lot of guys think, I don't want to woo her anymore. I don't want to keep taking her out to dinner. I don't want to keep spending money on her. I don't want to keep doing this kind of stuff. But the fact is, if you prolong and you take a good amount of time, what you start doing is not just dating, but you start building that relationship together. Absolutely. You start building it together. Well, we're moving forward. Actually, you know what? I just want to take just a quick break, and I want to thank WGSN-DB Going Solo Network for having the boy and girl thing on the show. We are going to move forward into Going Solo with Cece. We're going to keep this subject going because I think it's a lot of fun.
Do you still want me to be here?
Absolutely. You can be here. We're not talking about relationship loss. We're talking about building a relationship. So, but you can't say the C word.
I can't say the C word anyway.
No, but you know what? I think that is going to be a great show when we do it, because chemistry is really vital, and there's so many elements with regards to chemistry. All of our senses come into play when chemistry. When we're going to talk about
no question
chemistry.
about it.
So we're going to have like a day-long marathon show, I think. We get him going. He talks about the monkeys.
We talked earlier, speaking from my own experiences, when I met my ex-wife in 1984 for the absolute very first time, there was a volcano that erupted inside of me. Okay.
Wait, are we talking about that again?
Well, no, we're again, the idea being that that's all we understood back then.
But again, it's that knowing. You had that volcano that you were feeling. So the thing is, it's still that knowing that you have. It's like when sometimes we meet someone, we have this underlying, and I get it a lot, a feeling that it's like deja vu or something like that I've met them, that we have this really great connection. And it may not even be anyone I'm dating, just people that I meet. I feel like, and we had a lady on the show that she talked about soulmates and things like that. So there must be some sort of, connection underlying there. So I think it's that knowing feeling that we have when we meet someone, that they're the ones, They've got the potential of being, a partner.
I would love for us to do a show focused on that whole entire thing, biology, DNA, everything else that goes into that.
Yeah, we should get some experts to come on and talk about that. So what do you guys think out there about dating? Let's talk about this a little bit. How to jumpstart your dating life. Because I think if we're talking about dating, and we're, maybe some of us may be not really at the place in time in our lives to date, or maybe we've been dating for a while and it's just not really working. So how do we jumpstart our life? And so I think it's really important to move forward in our lives. So, I think it's good to take stock. You want to stand still, take a breath, and be still. But I also still, you have to keep doing momentum and moving forward. So it's building relationships. And if it's not necessarily a partnership relationship, you can build great relationships with people that are meaningful, that will help get you through some of those times. What do you think?
I'm personally of the opinion that one of the most difficult things to do, you are someone that, God bless you. Everything with you is move forward, embrace, move forward, okay? Grab onto, okay? Going forward, all right? Mm-hmm. The hardest thing for people to do, okay? Again, here we are. We've got a lot of history behind us. Mm-hmm. You, me, and a lot of people that are paying attention to what we're doing.
Right.
Okay? That history is incredibly difficult to separate ourselves from. We're going to go through the remaining parts of our lives with things that we think we have learned from our history. And it may not always be positive.
Okay, here's the thing. It's so often people feel, and since we're talking about that, I think it's a good subject to be on. And that's what we do here on our shows, is we kind of waffle a little bit going sideways, but that's what friends do. We talk about different subjects. But when we're talking about our past, so often everyone thinks, oh, you got to leave your past behind. Oh, you got to be able to move forward.
It's not that easy.
But you're never going to leave your past behind, because what you have to do is not leave it behind, but embrace it and learn from it.
Right.
And so when you stop and you start to understand the patterns in your life, you start to understand some of the things that happen to you. And then you start being accountable for some of those things that happen. And when you start being accountable, your life shifts, and you take a shift in it, because you understand, okay, I get it that maybe, ABC didn't do something right by me. But what did I do? What was my reaction? How did I play that out? What could I have done differently?
And how could I have avoided it?
Right. Yeah. Or, or sidestepped, or, I knew this behavior was happening and I let it go. I mean, that's probably a lot of my problem, is that I knew things were happening to me, but I don't always say, no, stop. This isn't going to happen anymore. And I'm trying to change that because I've started to learn about the patterns in my life. And so I think that I think the baggage that we have is awesome, because I think it's something that we have to embrace in life. It's just like all the joys that happens to us in life. What, are we going to forget the joys and the wonderful things that happen to us? No, we're going to remember those things. So why do we expect and think that we're going to take the sadness and the difficulties and we're going to put those in the suitcase and lock them up and we're never going to see those again? No, it's not going to happen.
It's unrealistic.
Absolutely. So what we have to do is embrace those things that happen to us. And, sure, maybe we had some relationship loss. Maybe we did something. Maybe we said something we shouldn't have said. But we're going to take those things and we're going to build from that. And that's the moving forward. It's not necessarily moving forward in a sense where, okay, I'm going to say this is the line in the sand and I'm going to jump over now and I'm going to start dating and live happily ever after. It's the point of starting to get the knowing and understanding of oneself to be able to accept who we are, and I think the more we accept ourselves, the more open we can be to other people, and they can love us for who we are.
And more than anything else, in moving forward, okay, bringing someone else into our lives, something you can do in your quiet moments, thought, perception, whatever,
right,
is what is really important. What are the important things and truly important things that are on your list for the person you hope to meet and a person you hope to begin sharing your life with, okay? And decide what the priorities for those things are. I don't know, let's just throw a couple of things out there. Let's say someone that is sloppy with their financial dealings. They're just, okay, is that something you can live with? That while you might be someone that is precise right down to the decimal point, finances are a big thing in relationships, very big.
But you know what? They don't have to be. It doesn't have to be that important.
I'm not focusing on our particular.
No. The reason I'm saying that is because I don't think we need to go down that road. It is because I feel that we can still, in today's world, the relationships are changing. And so what's happening is people are still staying somewhat separate, but they're joining together in like-minded activities and sharing of oneself and things like that. And I think finances, a lot of times, is still kept very separate now when we're older.
Well, I didn't mean to make that a topic. I'm just using that as an example.
What you're doing is you're trying to bring that negativeness into someone's personality. Yeah, because you're saying they're sloppy with their finances.
Okay.
So that's a negative thing. And the thing is like, you don't know they're sloppy with their finances until you've actually gotten down the road to get to know them.
Exactly.
So once you get to know them, then if their finances are a bit of a mess, you can say, okay, I don't want to go there with you on the finance bit because you've got your own thing going on and I've got my thing going on, and, we're going to keep it separate.
It's a serious issue for everyone. There's no question about it. Okay. My point to bringing it up was how you have your list and it's got.
But here's the thing. Let's just back up this finance thing again. The other thing is, in today's economy, what our economy has gone through, there is probably no one that hasn't been touched by
or affected by it.
By the eeconomics of it. So you cannot base whether this person is the right person for me or not based on their financial.
Okay.
Because maybe they weren't sloppy. Maybe they just got hung up with their other partner's debt or whatever.
I'm talking more about their attitude about it. Okay, but
it could be about anything.
Right. Well, okay. I just happened to use finances.
Right, and so that's blending of a relationship. That's blending of getting to know someone.
And again, going back to the original point of what are you willing to accept? Okay, if someone isn't quite up to your standards for finances, neatness, whatever, I can't deal with this. I'm out.
Here's the problem I see in that. If we're going to be straight talking here, is when someone is trying to evaluate someone else based on their standards, then I say they need to get off their high horse because they don't have the standards that is maybe compatible to the best of people.
And what was that piece of luggage that you had them put all that stuff into?
I didn't have them put anything into.
Baggage. Maybe they come out of a relationship. You don't know this in the beginning. Maybe they come out of a relationship where their partner.
What is the point you're trying to make here? Get to the point very quickly.
Okay. Open-mindedness.
Okay.
If you're attracted to the person, okay, that's a big head start.
For sure.
Okay.
But that can't be everything.
I never have said that.
Right.
Ever have said that.
Because you have to build. You have to start building a relationship.
I have never, ever.
Just like you do a friendship, you have to start building.
I have never said that's the be-all, end-all.
Right.
What I have said is that's certainly a big head start.
So let me ask you, if she was really drop-dead gorgeous, really hot, I mean, just sexier than all get out, you wouldn't even be thinking about her finances.
No, that's not now. Not now. Not now.
You wouldn't, at the very beginning when you met her, your finances wouldn't even be in your between your ears. It wouldn't even be between your ears.
I disagree completely.
No, I don't think so.
Not now. Yeah. Not now. Not today.
I think you would worry about her finances as you start going down the road with her and you start to learn more about her. Because someone's not going to lead with their finances. If you lead with your finances, forget it. Because my mom always told me anybody that talks about their money doesn't have any. So she always said, heads up. They lead with how much money they got and they can do this and they can do that. They ain't going to do anything.
Okay.
Move on. But so I don't know. I think that we put too much in the beginning when we're out there dating. And I think if we just think that we're going to make a really good friend and we start building in a positive way as we're creating a relationship with someone, we might decide down the road that, you know what, maybe they make a better friend, than a partner in life. Maybe I'm not ready for a partner in my life. Maybe there's different circumstances that come into play, but we're building, we're restructuring our lives, we're redefining our lives, we're redefining relationships as we saw them when we were younger. So, I don't disagree with the chemistry thing because, listen, I want a guy to rock my boat just as much as you guys want a woman to rock yours. But,
absolutely. But
the thing is I know that deep down in the core, you have to kind of match and meet somewhere in the middle, right?
Again, the backbone of our shows, you and me, the shows that we do.
Right.
Okay.
But I do, right now we're on Going Solo with Cece, and I do a different show, which is development.
Well, if you're going solo with Cece, what the hell am I doing sitting here with you? Okay.
So the thing is
I'm an intruder.
But I think if we want to be successful in dating, and online dating, and I love online dating.
Define successful. What is successful?
Meeting someone that we can have a partnership
once and for all,
that we can grow with, and making friends along the way, and we can build up our friendship, because I think it's very important for us to have friends in our lives and to do things with and things like that. So using the dating sites for that reason, I think it's totally awesome. But I do feel that where do we go after we meet someone? What do we do? And I think that's what's missing in the dating sites. And that's what I hope that our shows are bringing, with some more thoughtfulness and some more, things in mind of okay, now, if I'm going to go out there and date, what am I going to do once I get out there? And how am I going to think about it? And how am I going to grow from this? And, do I have stuff in the back seat that I need to work on a little bit more, that kind of thing.
Sure.
So, yeah, I think it's very
sense.
valuable. I think the shows that we have are very good. I know that all the shows on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network are very worthwhile, very inspirational, spot on. I mean, the hosts that we have on the station are just really dynamite. Anything you want to say in closing, Mr. Chemistry Man?
I'm exhausted. You bored me out. Okay. I always like it when we have Bruce Starr on.
I know. I love Bruce Starr too.
Okay, we got a guy. My whole message to anyone that asks me, and and again with the backbone being internet dating, online dating, start from there. Okay, that's where we start. Can I meet someone? Can I really meet someone that I can spend the rest of my life with? Well, of course, my answer is yes.
Yes.
Absolutely, you can. There's no question about it. And then getting back into the relation of our topic for tonight, okay? My overall opinion of what we discussed tonight is essentially, okay, narrow down what you're looking for, but leave some room. Leave a little room. The hardest thing to do is to find that cookie cutter person that A, you're incredibly attracted to, and then B, all of a sudden responds to every single need that you have.
Then you're going to get a robot for that. Then you're not going to get a woman.
Well,
a woman is not going to, number one, we're not going to respond to every need you have.
But again, my point, I know. My point primarily is know what it is that you hope to find, but by the same token, leave a little gray area.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let's go over the 5 things too, what they said just really quickly, just to remind everyone. We said the very first thing was, what am I looking for? So kind of know what you're looking for. And not just the looks, but based on the type of person and the qualities of that person that you're looking for. What am I willing to do to get what I want? Just how much commitment are you willing to make?
And how open-minded,
right.
How open-minded do I intend to be?
Yeah, I like that.
Or
How to alter
be?
your current habits of socializing and to meet people. I thought that was awesome the way they worded that. What is the most important thing I can do to create results? Again, I'm a list person, so maybe make a list of maybe some different things that you can do to get some different results. Whatever you're doing now, think of something different.
And adapt your personality to being welcoming.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Open-minded.
Welcome people into your life as opposed to never mind. I'm out. I can't deal with that. I'm this. I'm that. Okay. Be welcoming.
Absolutely.
Welcome people into your life.
So the other one was, how can I use a recent experience to avoid mistakes in the future? And again, look at your life and look at the patterns in your life, and maybe you can start to understand a little bit more about the depth of who you really are. And the last one they had here was, how can I face the prospect of dating with a positive attitude? You're getting nothing in life, nowhere in life without a positive attitude.
That's the key to, that's the bedrock of everything that you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I'm going to go interview for this job, but I'm not going to get it.
Yeah. So if you throw negative out into the universe, negative will certainly come back to you. And mine, which is the very last one, is the knowing. I think we all know whether, number one, we're ready to start dating. Number two, whether it's going to work for us, what is important to us, and how as we move forward. And we also know when we need to step back a little bit and when we need to have a little bit of more understanding about who we are. I think that the more in tune to the depths of our soul and to the depths of who we are, we will be able to embrace someone else out there. Yes. So I think that in those quiet times when you're by yourself, allow yourself to be able to really think, not in a negative way.
Take inventory.
Yeah. Just think about yourself and what you want in life, and really know that that's going to happen to you, because we all have a purpose. We all have that place that we're supposed to be going, and we have these peaks and valleys and things that we experience. But I think that it's because we're maybe not on the right path that we're supposed to be on, but we know deep down into our souls what we're supposed to be doing and what we're supposed to create. So anyhow, this is Going Solo with Cece, and we were talking with the boy and girl thing at the beginning of our hour of our show. So you are?
I'm Kit Smith. I'm the author of the book, Let's Meet Our Match, Your Complete Guide to Success in the World of Internet Dating.
And I am Cece Shadson.
And she is?
I am the doyenne of divorce, dating, and relationship building. and also the host right here of Going Solo Network and Going Solo with Cece, and the co-host of
Boy and Girl Thing.
I know. We love our shows. We have a good time. We hope you guys had fun. We love you. If you guys want to come on, be a guest with us, we'd love to have you right here on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. So that would be absolutely awesome.
I'd love it. I love it when we have guests.
Absolutely. So you can email us if you'd like on com. We would love to be able to talk to you about any situation that you might have, anything that's going on in your world, and if you want to be a guest or
chances are something that you're dealing with or coping with, or you can help others. Mm-hmm. And that's what we're all about, is helping people. And there might be an experience that you've had that if you share that with us, will help others.
Absolutely.
Okay?
It's all about the connection. And
Absolutely.
So that's what Kit and I really try to do, is we try very hard to connect singles together so that we can all help one another and be able to really make a good friend. And I think that's what it's all about. So there's no better partner in life than someone that you can call a friend. So, all right, we're going to move forward, and we're going to see you next week, same time, same place, right here on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And I want to thank you so much for joining us on Going Solo with Cece and
Kit Smith.
And the boy and girl thing. Talk to you now. This is Cece. Bye. Love you, Kit.
You're listening to WGSN-DB, Going Solo Network, Singles Talk Radio Channel, where we take a lighthearted and candid approach to discussions on the journey of relationship loss, divorce, parenting, being single, relationships building, dating, and yes, sex. Join our listeners and begin living your best life.